Here, I'm going to recreate a type effect that was very popular in posters during the 1960s. They're known as psychedelic posters, and you've probably seen these from the 1960s. Very brightly colored posters where they distorted the text so that you could almost not even read it. And of course, this was all done by hand. This was not done by computers, but you can see these various posters really took type and made it something very decorative. And so I'm going to approximate that. Here's one that's really interesting. It looks like the type is on fire. So in Illustrator, we can do something similar, much easier than drawing this by hand. But this is the effect and the look that we're going for. So I've got a blank document here, and I'm just going to get my rounded rectangle tool and draw a rectangle that's pretty much the size of the document. And I want no fill and a black stroke. I also want to increase the radius of the corners, so I'm going to hover my cursor over one of those control handles and drag it in so that the corner radius is increased. Now I'm going to get my pencil tool, and I'm just going to draw some curved lines that overlap the rectangle. There's one, and I'll do the other one so that it divides it into approximately 3 equal spaces in the rectangle. That looks good. Now I'm going to select the rectangle and the 2 paths, and I'll open up my Pathfinder panel, and I'll click the Divide button. So although it's divided the shape, it's still one object. So I'm going to select this object and go up to Object and Ungroup so that there are now 3 separate shapes. There's 1, 2, and then the 3rd shape. So now I'm going to fill each area with some text. I'll get my type tool and type in the first area. And this font, if you want to download it, or you can use some other decorative typeface, but this seems to work pretty well for this. So I'll type in smashing. And I want to increase the size of the text here to kind of fill up that area and center it in there. It's not going to be perfect, but I want to keep it horizontal and so that it's not overlapping any of the lines, but try to fill that space as best I can. That looks good. In the second area, I think I'll type groovy. This is a little bit too big because I don't want it to be touching any of the lines. And I'll just kind of center that there. And then in the last area, I'll just type, yeah, baby. And again, I'll just center it in there. Increase the size a little bit if I like, or not. So I'll select all 3 type objects and I'll fill them with a bright color. Also, I want to arrange the type and send it to the back. If you saw the other video that I did, you'll understand where I'm going with this. So now I'm going to select that top shape, hold down Shift, select the text, and I'll go to Object, Envelop Distort, and Make with Top Object. I'll select the second shape, and also the text. I'll go to Object, Envelop Distort, and Make with Top Object. And then I'll select the last shape and text and go to Object, Envelop Distort, and Make with Top Object. And so this is something that really does approximate that kind of psychedelic text that was used in these 1960s posters. And of course, we didn't have to do it by hand, and we did it in just a few minutes. But if this is something maybe you can use on a project or some artwork, it's a really great way to create an interesting type effect.